Hello there. My name is Brandon Juds. I'm a junior here at UW Stout, and I'm studying food science. I enjoy it very much. Another thing that I found enjoyment in this past semester was learning about psychology. One topic that I found particularly interesting was dissociative identity disorder. This is otherwise known as DID or multi-personality disorder. This disorder is characterized by a person who may have one or more distinct personalities. This is coming from the Mayo Clinic. Throughout my research, I've sort of come up with my own definition. I see it more as a person who may have one or more distinct personalities, but those distinct personalities only have fragmented memories, lives, friends, and agendas. So I see that the definition from the Mayo Clinic may be too extreme. We can see this throughout the pop culture references that comes up when talking about dissociative identity disorder. The first one we'll look at is in the popular movie Fight Club. Now, there's a few things you should know about Fight Club, and the first is that you shouldn't talk about Fight Club. I hope you got that joke. Anyway, in all seriousness, the main character of this story, Fight Club, is just the narrator. He's not named throughout the whole movie, and he's characterized by having insomnia and has had a traumatic past and everything, and he just honestly lives a very boring life. He is looking for a more extreme, intense life, something more exciting. So while on a plane ride for work, he meets someone named Tyler Durden. Now, Tyler is everything that the narrator wants to be. Tyler is outgoing, is extreme, and very interesting, so they become friends. They go to a bar, and they decide to start a fight club, hence the name of the movie. So the Fight Club is sort of just to let out testosterone, be manly, live exciting lives, things like that. But as the story progresses, it becomes more and more extreme, and they do extremist things. At the end of the movie, they are trying to, commit terrorism, blowing up buildings. And obviously the narrator is trying to stop this. So what does he do? He tries to stop this, and in doing so, he learns that he is actually Tyler Durden. His mind made up someone that, lived the life that he always wanted to. It's known as one of the largest plot twists in cinema history, and honestly, I didn't see it coming. So we'll move on to our next pop culture reference, where we will look at the movie Psycho, or the popular television series The Bates Motel. Here we see a young man named Norman Bates, whose father recently died. So him and his mother move to a faraway place and buy a motel. They're trying to forget their past life. So obviously this is very traumatic off the start. So Norman becomes extremely dependent on his mother for friendship, love, affection, just everything. And I mean everything. They get too close, in my opinion. You can see for yourself. So because Norman becomes so dependent, his mother sees this as a problem, encourages to go to school, make friends, get a job, things like that, things a normal kid would do. But Norman was willing at first, but eventually something snapped inside of him, and he became overwhelmed, and he would always pass out in these moments. And also in these moments, an alternate personality would arise from him, and it would be one that resembles his mother. One that is very protecting, loving of her child. And in Norman's head, he just wants to be close to his mother, so his mother tries to prevent Norman to, make friendships with other people. And keep this in mind, this is all the alternate personality. Norman does not know this is actually happening to him. So he goes on violent sprees, killing people, everything like that, but he's unaware. It is his alternate personality of his mother. So now that we've looked at those pop culture references, we'll talk about why students have a hard time understanding this. And I think this has a part to do with pop culture, because these are not the most accurate representations. In both cases, they're a bit too extreme. Actually, they're very extreme. Because like I said, in my research, I found it was more fragmented. You would not become a whole different person. And in Fight Club, he was interacting with his other personality. And in, the Bates Motel or Psycho, he was killing people. So usually the alternate personality does not have violent tendencies, does not have violent philosophies. So it's a very big misconception, because at the time they were noted as being factual, but that's actually not the case. So I think it's that is a reason why students have a hard time. It's also a hard time because they don't personally experience these things, so it's hard for them to imagine experiencing them. So a reason that the general population should accept, or it should be more knowledgeable about this, is because it's a growing epidemic. In 1973, there were only 100 cases reported total of this happening, but a book was published by a psychologist about one of her patients, and it kind of blew up, and since then, it has been a growing disorder with over 200,000 cases in the United States right now. So I think it's important for people to be open-minded and sympathetic towards those who may have this disorder. And I think it's even more important for psychologists to understand more about this disorder. This is because we don't exactly know what causes it, what people, can be affected, what the side effects even are always. Like I said, the research articles I've seen were not always 100% on the same page on everything. So I think it's important that we look into what causes it and what people are at risk and the side effects and what medication can help, because bipolar disorder is very closely related. They have super high manic states followed by depressive states, and someone that has DID may show these same symptoms, but it's perceived as bipolar disorder because they may have the fragmented different personalities. So yes, overall, dissociative identity disorder is a growing epidemic, and I really hope that in the future, psychologists, scientists, and people can just help grow and understand more about it. Thank you for listening. I really hope you learned something. Once again, I'm Brandon Juds. Have a great day.